Hey everybody, welcome to the Naked Truth Podcast with Will and Antoine. We're excited to give you a new perspective on today's topics and current events. If you like what you hear, please like and subscribe to be a part of the DNT family. Now, without further ado, please enjoy today's episode.
Yo, welcome to another episode of The Naked Truth. This is your man, Will Scouter. Who's next to me here?
What's up? It's your boy, AD, Antoine. We're here. We're back.
That's right. We're back with another episode. We may have some special guests, our weekly guest, I like to say, Mr. Two Sides. He's in here. I know y'all can't wait to hear him talk. He loves to shake the tables, but let's go ahead and get right into this episode. Today's episode is going to be about something that's very touchy. It's about having friends of the opposite sex in a relationship. So, of course, if a guy has a female friend that he had before dating another girl and vice versa, like, are those friends supposed to continue on into the relationship as it's formed with the significant other that they're currently dating? And I really think this is a good, juicy topic, especially after our last episode about friendships. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Antoine, give us your opinion. How do you feel about friends of the opposite sex in a relationship?
I don't see a problem with having friends in the opposite sex in a relationship, especially if they were your friends before you got into a relationship, because my thought process is your friends are always going to be your friends. And if they were your friends before you were in a relationship, they're still going to be your friends after a relationship. So I don't think that having friends of the opposite sex is an issue, as long as the person that you're in a relationship with understands that that person is just your friend.
So let me ask you a question, though. Does it matter the amount of friends of the opposite sex?
No.
So a girl can have...
I don't think the number matters at all. I think as long as it's very clear that this person is just your friend, right? But I also think the longevity of the friendship makes a difference, right? It can't be we've been dating for 2 years and now all of a sudden you got this new girl that's your friend, or this new guy that's your friend that you just met 5 minutes ago. Make it make sense, right? But if this has been your homeboy before you met me, that's cool.
Mr. Two Sides, I know you got lots to say. Come on
now. I think people are extremely sensitive when it comes to this topic. And I'm not going to say they're sensitive for no good reason. I think people face like a lot of insecurity and infidelity when it comes to the opposite sex. So I can understand why somebody might be fearful, but I'm going to just come out and say, I feel like people lack a certain level of intellectual depth to believe that people of the opposite sex can't maintain a positive platonic relationship regardless of whether or not somebody's in a relationship or not. And I feel like people get into a relationship and cause that type of tension in those dynamics because there's a level of isolation that allows relationships to work. So it becomes you and your partner, and then everybody else has to kind of filter in or around that dynamic. So in order to create that the best possible way and maintain or build a strong level of intimacy, because you're really still getting to know this person. Whereas if I'm their friend, I know them in a more intimate way than you do without a sexual dynamic, which a lot of times is scarier for a lot of people because that level of intimacy, especially when it's starting out, is something that they're afraid they won't be able to achieve. So if you have it and I don't have it, now my competition air quotes, my competition is staring me dead in my face all the damn time. So you got inside jokes and you got things that that I may not have built up yet with my partner, and that may make me insecure. I think it's stupid, but I also understand people's fear around it. But I think we've I hope we're getting to a point where we've aged out of that general belief that it's always going to be a problem. Because if you can't trust me to have a platonic friendship, then what's going to stop me from going around and doing what I want to do anyway? So it's like, I just, and I also will say, I feel like men are a little bit more sensitive on this side of the table than women are. Because at least from what I've seen, I feel like women value friendship more, even though they're terrible at being friends. So it's just that dynamic. Whereas men, they kind of look at most relationships with like this possessive nature, like that's mine. So you having any type of draw to or connection that is deeper than what I've already established is more seen as competition than really the allyship that it is. Because if I'm your shorty friend, I mean, you have a leg up if you're smart about it. But like I said,
Well, let
niggas
me
is
ask you
dumb.
this though. So we talked about a lot of times these friends that were in existence before the relationship. What about if your significant other makes friends with somebody of the opposite sex after the relationship has started? Like, how do we feel about that?
I mean, go ahead.
I think it's the dynamic of how they're introduced, right? I think, because sometimes some of our friends, our closest friends can be our coworkers, right? So you might meet somebody on a job, y'all might connect and become the best of friends. I think it's all about how they're introduced to the partner that makes a difference. I think the dynamic of the whole situation makes a difference, right? Like, you can't be in my mind, right? Like, if you be like, if you're always talking to me about your coworker and about your friendship and things of that nature, I'm gonna be okay with that because I know this is somebody that you have told me about, that you talk about all the time, that I know that is a friend. But if you telling me you got a really close friend that's a coworker, but you've never mentioned them before, you've never talked about them, I've never met them, like, I'm gonna be a little skeptical because if I'm your partner, why don't I know who your friends are? Why have I not met your friends, even if it is a recent friend that you just connected with?
Well, let me ask you two things though. To part of that, one, to does it matter for you when you hear that you said in the first part where as long as you know about it, you're cool? Is that because you trust your partner or that you are secure in yourself, or both?
It's both. One, it's me trusting my partner, but two, I'm very secure in myself. I am not the jealous type at all, and I have the mindset that if you're with me, you're not going to want to be with anybody else because of what I give you is so great that it's going to be all that you need. And so that's my mindset, and I'm very secure in that. So I don't really worry about who you're hanging with, who you're not hanging with, this, that, and the other, because one, I trust you, and two, I'm very secure in who I am and what I bring to the table.
All right, Mr. Eddie Lee, what you think?
I'm very big on allowing people to maintain their agency. Like, I don't care, and like it's hard because a lot of the times people want there to be like something extra on it or place all this razzle dazzle, but like in the grand scheme of things, one, if I'm with you and some fuck shit's going on and I find out I'm going to dip, and then two, if I'm with you and I should be able to take you at your word. So like if I can't take you at your word or I don't believe you, then I shouldn't be here anyway because I'm not safe. So like it's just one of those things where it's like it doesn't have to be as big of a deal. And I think regardless of when friendship is introduced, I think people should get better with understanding how communities need to be formed, developed, and then upkeeped. And if people had more of an agreement with maintaining community, then this wouldn't even be a problem, because you would be able to understand that in this short, long life that we have to live, to think that you're going to be the only person to connect with your person is dumb. Like, people, you have your mindset, and that can be a intellectual sparring match for up until a certain point, but other people have different perspectives and different lives and different outreaches and things of that nature. So if they have that and they have that to offer, and they're trying to offer it in a way that, I mean, there is a certain level of quote unquote respect, but if they're offering it in a way that can be deemed more tasteful than not, you just let it rock. But
I guess for me, I'll speak on the behalf of being the victim. I like to say, I'm always the one that the friend, the person that they're with, is always jealous of me and my friendship to their partner.
for sure.
And it's not fair, because I truly, we talked about Will being a big deal, and that's because I really care about all my friends and I shower them with love. And, I think, to me, it's an insecurity to that person. Like, I am a threat. If I could be honest, and to my own horn, if I saw somebody like me approaching whoever I'm talking to, absolutely, I'd be like, what's going on here? Because, like, I've been called the work husband many times. And for me, I can't help it. Like, we just get along so well. I have a couple work wives. And, some of them have formed relationships, some of them haven't. But I just how do y'all feel about when that term gets thrown around, like work wife, work husband? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I don't have a problem with it. I have had many work wives. I know.
You a hoe.
Well, I mean, I know of one example where I met this girl on the job. She called me her work husband. I called her my work wife. She was married. But when she needed something, she came to her work husband.
Why?
But we were just friends. It was just a platonic friendship. But her husband did feel threatened by me. Probably so because of the energy. Because I just really thought he won about shit anyway. So
Wait,
So-
did she? Do you
So
know
he was
if
out
she
here
shared
dirty
that?
macking.
did what?
Was that dirty? What? Dirty macking? What
Yeah,
is
he was
that?
out here dirty macking.
What's
Man
that?
was already in. Dirty macking is when, like,
You
you
ain't shit.
shitting on the person, but you don't really have to do much. Like, you're not actively shitting on them. You just,
Right.
hey, I'm showing up for her. I'm doing everything else like that. So at some point or another, she's gonna realize her man ain't shit. And if she's constantly coming to you, she already realized her man ain't shit. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
he, I can understand the threat. And Will, also, to your point, I've been that person as well, where it's like, you're the friend, but like, and the other person feels threatened. But at least most times that's just because niggas lack depth in terms of like empathy, emotional intelligence, things of that nature. And I'm very good with that externally. So like, it's very easy to have good type of conversations with women just because I understand it from that perspective. But at the same time, I also feel like, once again, you shouldn't feel that threatened about people's possession of a person, as long as it's with respect to your relationship. Because at the end of the day, even if I'm dirty macking, at the end of the day, she's going home to your ain't shit ass. Like, you shouldn't be, because if she really wanted me and I really wanted to take it further, I could. But like, why? I'm not trying to disrupt what you got going on. I'm just enjoying the energy that's been created and what our dynamic is. And it's really up to the other person to trust what our dynamic is. And if you can't, then you probably don't trust the person. If you don't trust the person, then get the fuck on. Like, it's the world could be so
I'm
simple.
gonna throw a wrench in here, right?
Okay.
So I think we're talking about a lot of heteronormative stuff here,
For sure.
but even I find myself being a victim again of like a girl who's in a relationship with another female, and we could say maybe their partner is picking up some of the stereotypical things of what dudes are supposed to do. And, the women are attracted to that masculine feature of that female, to be that protective, jealous person. So it still could happen either way, where it could be a male jealous of me or a female jealous of me, and it's just those kind of things. So how do y'all feel about, even with same-sex friends, like, do you think, like, if that's even a thing? Because it doesn't have to be like a romantic interest. It could just be like you have a toxic homie that's a part of your clique or whatever. Like, how does that all work when you talk about friendships? Like, do you have to like sever your relationships or friendships once you start entertaining a friendship? I mean, a relationship?
I don't
No,
know.
I think it goes back to what Mr. Two Sides was saying, right? It's about emotional intelligence. It's about trusting, and a lot of it really is people's insecurity, right? I think a lot of it is people feeling like they're not enough for their partner, or they're not giving enough to their partner, where they may think that their partner may want to go out and look elsewhere for something else that they feel like they're not giving. And I think that's something that they got to deal with. They need to go to therapy or whatever the case may be, instead of projecting it on the friend. The friend is just being a friend at the end of the day. And like it was stated earlier, if I can't trust my partner to be around other people and not do anything wrong, then why am I with you? Like, it's really about trust. Like,
For sure.
But do you think the friend, though, I was just going to say this real quick. Do you think the friend has an advantage over the partner? Because your friend who's in the relationship is going to come to you and air out their dirty business of their relationship, if that's how close you guys are. And so if you know this friend don't get flowers, and then all of a sudden you bring in flowers, is that a flag on the play? Because you're trying to be there as a friend to make them feel appreciated. And like you said, dirty macking, whatever. Like, that's what I'm saying. But like, is that still like, is that my fault as being a friend for being there for my friend?
Well,
if they're like it.
That depends on two things. One, your intentions, which we'll never really know. We'll never really
Sometimes
know.
people do.
You know, so that's one, your intentions. And then two, it's like, at the same time, if it is truly a friendship and you know that your friend is in a dynamic where they're not being fulfilled all the way, I would say you do still have a responsibility to show up for your peoples. It's just your intentions is going to dictate how you show up for your peoples. As far as the toxicity of a friendship and how friendships can be on relationships, you then have to decide how much of the headache you want to deal with. Like, I've been in that dynamic where, like, a woman did not like one of my female friends, and they constantly was butting heads, to the point where I told him, yo, stay away from each other. Like, if I know you about to be there, you're not coming. If I know I'm gonna be with my chick, I'm not inviting you, because I don't want to deal with the headache. And I know it's gonna be a headache because y'all are constantly bumping heads, y'all are constantly fighting, y'all are constantly in some shit. And then I gotta hear about it two ways. It's 2 phone calls to hear about this. I don't want to. So I think you also just have to figure out how much of your dynamic you're gonna be sharing with your friends, especially if you know they lean towards the toxic side. I've been there. Shout out to y'all. And then also how much you allow your friendship and your relationship to like intersect. Because I would say most times, outside of the time where it's like group dynamic or everybody's kind of hanging out and everything else like that, most of this stuff is really supposed to be separate and kind of like removed. Like, yeah, you can know who my friends are, you can know what they look like and all that type of stuff, but like on a day-to-day basis, if I'm chilling with the homies, like, unless you're like in the crib and they're there, that's really the only time that it really intersects. Outside of that, we don't need all that, because at the end of the day, that's also how lines get blurred. Because now we don't know that this line is crossing over here and that line kind of crossing over there, and now and then anything can happen. So it's like,
Antoine, let me hear you. I see you itching over there. Come on.
I can't digest that. I don't agree with that 100%, right? First of all, I feel like, and I've been put in this situation before, right? I feel like if one of my friends is dating someone and I don't like them, if my friend is happy, I'm going to get along with that person because I'm not going to want to do anything.
Liar.
That's the truth.
No, I'm saying you're going to start lying.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily lying. It's more so compromising.
Yeah, all right.
Compromise.
If you will,
Okay.
right? Because at the end of the day, I am making myself get along with someone for the sake of making sure that my friend is happy, because I know this person makes my friend happy. Now, the only time I'm not going to get along with that person is if my friend isn't happy. And if my friend isn't happy, then I don't no longer have to get along with you.
Continue
if
to
my
lie.
friend isn't happy. But as long as my friend is happy, we can kumbaya, we can coexist, we can be in the same space, we can do all of those things, because at the end of the day, my end result, my goal is to always make sure that my friend is happy, because that's what a friend does, right? So there's never going to be conflict between my friend's partner and me unless my friend isn't happy.
Dirty Mackin 101.
That's not dirty macking. That's being a good friend.
Yeah, all right.
Y'all like, they got people really out here dirty macking like that.
Dirty
I gotta
Mackin
find
101.
out. Dirty macking. Look, no. How about this, Reg? What about friends of the opposite sex or whoever that you used to date before?
All right. So
Like, does it matter if you had sex with them
it
or
is
you actually in a
hard. I
relationship?
feel like if you aren't somebody who can exist in an open relationship, polygamy, whatever, like multiple people in the dynamics, that's always going to be a trigger. And the reason why I say that is because if you know, that thought is always in the back of your mind. I don't care who you are. So you have to be good with that, because if they introduce that to you, right? Let's say they introduce, and I'm talking about people who are not good with it. I don't care, but for the people who are not good with it, from how it's been expressed to me, if you know, it is very hard to even put that person in some type of trusting dynamic, simply because I'm speaking from, I guess, heteronormative standpoint. A dude is, even if it's not on the forefront of his mind to get the quote unquote old thing back, if he's single and ain't got nothing to do, where did my man Pringle? It's something to do when there's nothing to do. So
He gonna circle the block.
you know what I'm saying? He might, and even if he never does, even if he does maintain a level of respect, it's hard on a partner who hasn't been in certain dynamics to really truly trust that. So that part of it can get a little sticky, and I can
So,
understand.
did you give your opinion whether or not you allow that?
I don't. There's like, I'm very comfortable with, like, oh, I don't care
Anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
I'm
that's
very
a very
comfortable.
good heteronormative
for sure,
answer.
for sure.
I think that answer would be different in a same-sex relationship,
Why?
because I know for gay men, a lot of times their friends are exes or people that they smashed, that they realize they're better off as friends, and they become the best of friends, right? So it's one of those things where, yeah, we may have smashed, but we realized we weren't never good as a couple, and we became the best of friends. And so now whoever I date is going to respect that, or has to respect that, because that's the homie. It's nothing there between us. We've already tried that. We know that it didn't work.
How soon thereafter can that fly? Can that person be somebody you tried to date before your current guy, or you know what I mean? Like, is there like
I feel
layers
like
of
if
separation?
you want to keep like baseline model, I say give it 4 years. You know what I mean?
Before
4
that person
years.
can be friends?
No.
Considered
If
friends?
they're your friend, make it within, like, yo, we tried that 3-4 years ago. We've been on that platonic stuff. Like, show some level of
I don't think it has to be that long.
how long you got to look. I don't know how.
That's
Look,
what I want to know.
I'm just saying, from a heteronormative perspective, you're gonna want to put some distance in that, bro. Because if you tell me 6 months ago, 3 months ago, it's like, what you supposed to do with that?
I'm just saying. How soon? How soon?
I don't think it has to be that long. I would say maybe 6 months to a year, but I mean, again, right? It's it's all about the dynamic of the people and people's emotional intelligence and maturity and all of those things, right? Like, there are people that I may have wanted to date or I may have had sex with that I realized, oh, we could never be in a relationship, but we just became really great friends.
Mhm.
And that's that, right? And so if I introduce them to my partner, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna let my partner know this is somebody that I had a situationship, but we're nothing but friends because I don't look at that person in that way anymore.
So I'm gonna ask.
And
I have a question then, just on that point you brought up. So if you're introducing somebody as a friend now who used to be in that, like, y'all have an intimate past,
Mhm.
are you giving room or leaving room for them not to be okay with that dynamic, or are you just introducing it for the peace of mind of, hey, I told you? How is this working?
Good
I'm
question.
introducing it in the sense of I'm always going to be upfront and honest with my partner because I'd rather my partner hear from me versus him being out somewhere and somebody say, oh, you know, they used to smash or they smashed one time or whatever, because, you know, people can be messy. So I just always want to make sure that my partner always knows
But
what's
how
what.
do you even say that? Like, are you saying, "Hey, this is Jack. I had sex with him 2 years ago. Yeah, we're good now." Like, how do you say that?
Best
I have
buddies.
said that before.
Right.
I have literally said that before. I said, hey,
In the
this is
dialogue of the
so-and-so.
introduction? I hope
Yeah,
not.
I said, hey, this is so and so. You know, we had a past. We messed around.
Yes. Okay. I
You
hope you're
know,
not that.
or whatever. You know, like
Because I'm gonna ask you the details afterwards. I'll be like, so this pass.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. Supposedly, I have this tale that the person I'm getting to know says that I do when I'm introducing them to somebody that I have had a past with. I say, I know this person very well. And so when I say that, he says he knows that something has gone on between me and that person.
Damn. Hey, if I get
Y'all not
introduced
married
like
yet?
that, if I get introduced like that, trust me, I'm gonna make you feel that shit. Yeah, bro. Hey, what up, partner?
No, I'm never
You
gonna
know
say
that
I
shit
know you
good,
very
bro. You
well.
doing well for yourself. You doing well for yourself, my brother. I'm glad somebody held it down. I couldn't, but you can. You feel me? Keep it doing I ain't sure I know.
But I mean, I just really think it's all about being transparent and being upfront and honest at all times. And, you know,
I'm gonna be honest, and this is probably very toxic for me to say, but
Here we go.
some shit you gotta just take to the grave, yo. Like, some shit you gotta take to the grave. Like, especially if you know your partner is jealous or like insecure. Like, bro, because like, once again, I gotta think about my peace. And like, if I introduce some things to you and me and this person rocking and we know what our dynamic is, you just gonna get that dynamic. Because if I do anything more, then it's gonna be that question, it's gonna be that thought in your mind. And like, I already know you that type of person. So you, as the person introducing, just know your partner, know how they stay, know what their framework is, know how secure they are. And if you don't want no problems at home, then introduce your person or your past wisely, my nigga. Now, if you was a whore, hey, then they know what they should know what they got with. Because all you gotta say is, yo, I was out here. So you you might see something. And they might know me in a way.
Be like,
That,
how you know?
don't worry about it. You know. You know. So just understand that. But like,
Oh, wait. So I want to shift this, right? So you actually point us in the next direction I wanted to go with. I have found some rules that I want to see how y'all feel about these suggested rules for having friends in your partnership.
okay.
I mean, your relationship.
All right, let's see.
First one. These are the rules for the partner with the friendship, right?
Okay.
First one. Discuss the strictly platonic nature of your relationship with these women or men and make sure everyone has the same goals and perspective of the friendship.
What?
We agree or we don't agree?
What do they mean by same goals of the friendship?
You define the relationship as a friendship,
Yeah.
nothing more. And just because you don't have any interest doesn't mean they don't.
Okay.
So that's what you said. Discuss it strictly as a platonic nature on everybody's. Say just the same way Antoine talked about it. We used to have a past, but now we're good. There's nothing in there.
But
I would agree with that.
But you only know that there's nothing in there from your perspective. Is that what they're saying?
No, to make sure everybody is on the
Okay,
same
I got
page.
you. I got you.
Everybody on the same page, right?
Cool.
So that means you might need to engage and be like, look, I got a shorty, I got somebody. Like,
if you like me, get over it, because
ain't no friends with benefits here. It's over. That was done, right?
Ain't no third wheel,
So
bro.
All right, second one: avoid excess physical contact with your friend.
Huh?
Ooh, how do we feel about that?
So I can't give him a hug.
So, no kiss on the cheek, no lips when you greet each other and leave each other. Do you give each other a hug? Do you flirt with them? These are all kinds of physical interactions that we're talking about.
Definitely no flirting. I'm fine with hugs. I'm even fine with a kiss on the cheek. I would probably say no to the kiss on the lips, because nobody should be kissing your lips but me.
That's crazy.
But hugging is fine. A kiss on the cheek is fine, because I feel like a kiss on the cheek is like a term of endearment. But definitely, if y'all friends, why y'all flirting? Like, I had somebody flirt with me, right? And when I say flirt with me, it wasn't just a friendly type a flirt. It was like a
flirt
where, they were trying to touch me inappropriately. And I found out the person was married. And I'm like, yo, what you doing? Like,
you didn't answer my question. Y'all was exchanging nudes?
No, we were not exchanging nudes.
So how did it just go to that level?
We were in public.
Mm-hmm.
We met in public. We started having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They started flirting. I started flirting back.
Were you single?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You just want to paint the picture.
I started flirting back. The flirting led to touching. And I thought, this was going to maybe go somewhere, right? Like, we exchanged IG information. And, I'm thinking, oh, okay, this could be a potential for a date or whatever. But when I inquired, because you always got to do your research. When I inquired to a friend about that person, I was told they were married. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Damn.
I'm good on that. But to me, that is overstepping boundaries.
Flirting like that. Okay.
Yes.
The next one: refrain from sharing personal primary relationship issues or your own problems with them.
I definitely agree with that. I am not a proponent of sharing issues with my partner, with my friends, and this is why. Because I will get over whatever the issue is with my partner. My friends won't. And so I will be happily back in love in 24 hours
and
or less. And my friends 2 weeks later will be still mad and saying, they ain't shit. They ain't never going to be shit. And I don't need that type of headache. That's just.
I think I'm losing a friend right now because of the same thing. Like, do not tell me your personal stuff, and then you talking about going back. Nah. I'm gonna still be having them same feelings.
I would say always share, like, if it's to do with you, like, let your friends understand what's going on with you. If it's with your dynamic, practice a certain level of discernment. Like, maybe if it's something that's like touchy-feely and it's still a soft spot with your partner, you might wanna relax and not let the group know that. But if it's just some some common stuff that if y'all was in a group setting, it might come up type stuff, then you could share on that. I keep it at like a very base. Like, my friends know when I'm good, and my friends know when I'm annoyed with my partner. It's that simple. So it's like, if it's rocky, I'm very much annoyed. If it's cool, then it's cool, and we just keep it at that type of level. So they might ask me like, "Oh, what happened?" or "What you do?" or whatever, blah blah, and like but you just have to keep a certain level of discernment to like, yo, how much am I gonna divulge? Because like you said, it can get a little rocky, especially if like you're not the person who's usually having drama. Oh, people's waiting for that. They're waiting for you to finally have some drama. So just be careful. I say just be careful.
All right, one more. Oh, two more actually, but it says be honest with yourself about your intention with this friendship. What are you getting out of it? Think hard about whether you are seeking something that you're not receiving from your partner.
I feel like that's a
And we talked
given.
about that, like the dirty Mac and stuff.
But I feel like
where
that's a given. Like if I have a dynamic with somebody else, platonic or not, like of course I'm getting something out of this that I'm not gonna be able to get here. Like my homegirls who got boyfriends, like they not talking to me because there's a level of intimacy, that we have, but there's also a level that I'm gonna break things down. So when she go talk to you, she not coming out the side of her neck because I was the one who tell her like, yo, you either tripping or this is the way that you should probably approach it if you want to get your point across. Like if you want to crash out, but if you want to get your point across, this is how you should go about it. So like I feel like there's just a level in every dynamic that's supposed to be different than what you actually get from your relationship. So to say like at the deepest level, I'm friends with you and I'm in a relationship with somebody else because I could see somebody else in a relationship, whereas I could see a friendship with you. Like that, it automatically is different. Now, granted, once again, if you dirty macking, we know what the intentions is, but you know, I ain't here to shoot the messenger. I'm just a messenger. You know, we know.
I definitely agree with you on that, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the benefits of having friends of the opposite sex is being able to talk to them about things and get their advice of how to approach things with your partner so that you don't fly off the handle when, you address them or when you're talking to them about a situation, because they're going to be the ones to let you know you're tripping, you're going crazy, this is how you should approach it type deal. So I agree with that.
Okay. So let's talk about the rules for the partner observing the opposite sex friendship, right?
Okay.
And we're not going to go into all of them, but the ones that kind of jumped out at me, the first one is recognize that your partner cannot be everything to you and cannot be everything to you cannot be everything to your partner.
That's what
How do you all feel about that?
That's what I just said.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, I am all for each individual having their own level of independence. I don't want you up under me 24/7. I don't want you around me 24/7. I don't want you doing the same things that I'm doing all the time.
Amen.
I don't want you to always have the same interests that I have.
Preach.
You need to have your own set of friends.
Amen.
You need to have your own set of things that you got going on. You need to be able to do your own thing.
Yes, Lord.
I do my own thing,
Yes,
and
Lord.
then we come together and do things together.
Thank you, Jesus. Preach, sir.
I guess,
Preach.
Eddie Lee, you don't have much to say after that.
He's preaching. He's preaching. Let him talk. Let that man talk.
Somebody pass the
You know what
collection
I'm
plate.
saying? No fives, no tens, okay?
All right, let's go to the next one. Recognize that you've created a script about how your partner should behave and that according to your rule book, they are not playing by the rules of your script.
What?
What are we, two?
I don't know.
Am I my partner's parent?
Look,
like, I gotta tell them how they should behave and how they should act? Like, what are we doing?
No, it's saying check yourself pretty much. Like all these things that you think that your partner is doing with this other person could be things that you put in your head as a script.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
100% for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Respect your partner's agency. They still a person at the end of the day.
This is a good one. Recognize the source of your feelings of jealousy and insecurity.
Stop being a bitch. Keep it moving.
I definitely agree with that. Because here's the thing, right? All of these things that we're saying are easy for people who have never been in traumatic relationships or somebody who has never been constantly cheated on. If you've been someone that has been constantly cheated on, then your perception or outlook is going to be different than someone who has never been cheated on, because you may not trust people so easily. And so your guard is always going to be up because,
I agree. But at the same time, speaking as somebody who's been cheated on, it only made me understand that I have to respect the other person's agency. Like, the other person can literally do what they want. So, like, your sense of security in this dynamic only goes so far, because at the end of the day, you're not living 365 in that other person's skin. They are. So, like, my trust of you is to trust what I know of you until you show me something different. And that's as far as I can go. So yeah, I might think that this joint is going peaches and cream, but not knowing that the cream is they in and the peaches is mine. You feel me? Like, and that's how it really was working. So like I think it can scar you if you've been in a dynamic where there's been infidelity or just a traumatic relationship. But I also think that one, you kind of got to do the work by yourself to get out of that. But then two, like you also have to let go of this false sense of ownership over somebody else. Like them 400 years is over, brother. We don't have that level of ownership, and not to compare it that way, but I'm just saying like you this is not yours. It's a free person, a free
People are not
world. Like,
property.
yeah, so you just gotta you gotta let that rock.
That writes me to this last one. Recognize that your partner may actually be doing you a favor by inadvertently pointing out your triggers. So the very areas of your personality that need the most work. Oftentimes people expect their partner to fill their emptiness, and that's not their job. So filling your emptiness is your own inside job.
That's my favorite thing to say. I love to say that's not my job. It's not my job, bro.
And you know who the first time I heard that was Will Smith, of course, speaking about his relationship with his wife. And he said that, and I didn't know if he was attacking Jada when he said it, but he was like, it is not my job to make you feel happy.
For sure.
You have to come to this relationship already happy or wanting to be happy, but it cannot be dependent on me. Because then if I don't ever do it, then I'm always going to be, disappointing you when it's really your own job to fill that emptiness.
Shout out to Will, bro. He be doing some fuck shit sometimes, but shout out to Will. He got that shit right. He got that one right.
Is that Libra? The Libras? There we go. Shout out to the Libras. There's one that anyway. So then we're just going to wrap this up real close. So the three things to me are that I picked up on this conversation is one, you got to have respect for each other, right? And then there's that integrity so that you can be trusted, and that's with that whole transparency thing. Like, don't be hiding no relationship status or what you've done before. If y'all had sex or whatever, like you got to keep that. And then the honesty, of course, you know what I mean? Be honest with yourself, be honest with your partner, be honest with your friend. Like, look, this is getting to an area that it's getting too murky. I'm in this relationship. I want to be focused. I want to be, supportive, and we dancing on that line. And I don't want to be disrespectful to my partner. So, how do y'all feel about that?
That's a great wrap up. I agree. I agree 100%. Respect people's agency, and shit, Dirty Mac, if you please.
Down with the Dirty Mac at 24. And on that note, we're going to close, y'all. Thank you for tuning in again for another The Naked Truth. I was going to say something else. But tune in next time where we get uncomfortable and get naked.
Naked.
Hey everybody, we hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Naked Truth. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to be a part of the D&T family and stay up to date for future episodes and exclusive content. Also, follow us on our social media handles listed in our bio. Again, on behalf of Will, Antoine, and the rest of the Naked Truth production team, we'd like to thank you for listening to today's episode. Until next time, stay solid.